Hey, Alex. Man, I heard the news. Congrats. You're finally buying your house, right? Yes, finally. I've been saving for years. It wasn't easy, but I managed to put together a 20% down payment. I didn't want to go with only 10% because the interest rate could have been too high. I've done the math many times, and I think it's the right moment for me. Wow. I'm happy for you. It's a big step. But honestly, I have to ask, are you sure this is a good idea? I mean, buying a house sounds great on paper, but isn't it just tying yourself down to debt for the next 30 years? I get it. That's what a lot of people say. But hear me out. I've been paying rent for the last 10 years. Let's say $900 per month. That's over $100,000 gone into someone else's pocket. With a mortgage, at least the money I pay each month is going towards something that will eventually be mine. Yeah, I hear that a lot too. But you're also locking yourself into a 30-year mortgage, right? And that's not even including property taxes, home insurance, repairs, and all the stuff that comes with owning a home. Doesn't that stress you out? Honestly, a little. But I prefer the idea of owning something real. Plus, I bought in a growing area. The real estate market there is going up fast. My coworker, Laura, bought a place 2 years ago, and it's already increased in value by $40,000. That's equity, man. It's not just an expense, it's an investment too. Maybe. But let me give you another angle. Let's say you put that $40,000 down payment into a diversified investment portfolio instead. Something like ETFs or index funds. Historically, the average return from the stock market is around 7 to 8% annually, with compound interest. That $40,000 could turn into over $300,000 in 25 years. No repairs, no taxes, just growth. That's true if everything goes well, but markets go down too. Look at 2008. Look at COVID. Real estate feels more stable to me. People always need houses. Sure, but houses also crash. Remember the housing bubble? People were buying homes with bad loans and then lost everything. The truth is, both are risky, but one is more flexible. If I invest my money, I can cash out if I need it. If I buy a house and suddenly lose my job, I still owe the bank a mortgage every month. I totally agree about the risk, but I made sure to buy within my budget. My mortgage payment will be around $1,100 per month, and I was paying 900 for rent before. It's not a huge jump, and my income is more stable now. And you know what? I like the idea of having something I can pass on to my future kids. That part makes sense. Generational wealth. I just feel like our generation is rushing into buying homes because our parents told us it's the right thing to do. But times have changed. Inflation, high interest rates, job insecurity. Maybe renting and investing makes more sense now. But if you keep renting, aren't you just throwing money away? Not if you're investing the difference. For example, you said your mortgage is $1,100. Let's say I keep renting for $800 and I invest the 300 monthly difference with compound interest over 25 years at 7%. I could end up with about $250,000. And I don't have to fix a broken water heater or pay for roof repairs. That's a good point, but you're assuming you will actually invest that difference. Most people don't. They spend it on other stuff. Buying a house forces you to be disciplined. You have to make that payment every month, so you're automatically saving. Touche. That's true for a lot of people. But I'm the kind who automates my investments. Every paycheck, I put a fixed amount into my portfolio. It's just as automatic as a mortgage. I just think people need to look at the full picture. A house is not just the price tag. You've got closing costs, inspection fees, maintenance, HOA fees in some places. And don't forget the capital gains tax if you sell it later. I know, I've done the math. The closing costs alone were about $6,000. I saved for that too. But in my case, I'm planning to live in the house for at least 10 years. And maybe later, I can rent part of it out, make it a source of income. It's not just about living in it. Now that sounds more like an investment. If you can generate rental income from your home, that changes the game. But still, wouldn't it be easier to just invest and not worry about repairs or tenants? It depends on what you value. For me, owning a home gives me security, pride, and the chance to grow something long term. For you, maybe flexibility and liquidity are more important. I respect that. Fair enough. I guess there's no one size fits all answer, but it's important that we think about these things carefully. Too many people rush in or just follow what others are doing without asking, is this the best option for me? Exactly. That's why I waited. I didn't want to buy until I really felt ready. And if it turns out to be a mistake, well, at least I did it on my terms. You know, this reminds me of our coworker David. Remember him? He bought a house 5 years ago in the suburbs, but things didn't go as planned. A year later, his company transferred him to another state, and he couldn't sell the house quickly. He ended up paying both a mortgage and rent for 6 months. He said it was the most stressful time of his life. Yeah, I remember that. That's definitely a risk. But David also didn't do much research. He bought that house just because it looked nice, not because it was in a good area for resale or rental. I learned from that. I chose a location near public transport, schools, and hospitals. Even if I have to move, I could rent it out easily. That's smart. But you know who did the opposite? Sandra. She's been renting a small apartment for the last 8 years. Instead of buying a house, she put her savings into mutual funds and stocks. Now she's sitting on over $150,000 in her investment account. No mortgage, no repairs. She travels when she wants. She even works part time now. True, but Sandra also has no kids and doesn't want to settle down. I want stability. I want a backyard, a place I can personalize, and eventually a home for my family, not just numbers in an account. And besides, she's very disciplined. Most people wouldn't keep investing like she did. They'd spend it on clothes, phones, or vacations. You know, I understand you. I also have an emergency fund, 6 months of expenses saved. I don't want to rely only on the house. I'm trying to balance everything: house, savings, a little investing too, not just one thing. Now that's smart. Diversification. It's all about balance. You know, I'm not against buying a house. I just think people do it for the wrong reasons. They think it makes them successful or that it's a dream. But it's not a dream if it turns into a nightmare of debt. Totally. That's why I waited years. I didn't want to buy just because my friends were doing it. I did it when I was ready, when I had enough saved, and when I found a good deal. I see it as part of a bigger plan, not the whole plan. I respect that, man. You did your homework. And at the end of the day, we're both trying to be smart with our money. We just have different goals and values. Some people want stability, others want freedom. There's no perfect path. Exactly. That's the most important thing I've learned. It's not about copying what others do, it's about understanding your situation, your future goals, and making the choice that works for you, not your parents, not society. Couldn't agree more. I think we should do a workshop on this at work. So many people have no idea how mortgages work and how investing compounds over time. It could really help. Let's do it. I'd love to share my journey, and you can share your investing experience. It's not buy versus invest, it's understand both and choose wisely. Whether you choose to buy a house or invest your money, the most important thing is to understand your own priorities and make informed decisions. There's no perfect solution for everyone, but with research, planning, and discipline, you can build the life you want. Be smart, be patient, and never stop learning. If you could improve your English a little more, please subscribe to the channel and share this video with a friend. Thank you very much for your support.